Hi guys, so this is a weird video because I'm actually telling you about other things other than me, other ways to learn French. Now that's not going to offend me, it makes me really happy that you're interested. So I obviously do the videos started as a way to record bits of grammar for the people that I teach. For those of you that haven't worked it out, I teach French for people in business or people learning for academic reasons, but quickly. So my speciality is people who want to learn quickly. So that means I've found methods that work really quickly, and the same goes for other sites that I recommend. They are ones that work really well. So I'm just going to talk to you about a few things that I think you could be doing to be helping your French. So, some rules before we get started. Don't be using your eyes excessively. I know that sounds stupid. Somebody once said to me, and I think it's fantastic, that the written language is like a piece of sheet music, is like a piece of music. It's just a way of recording what we actually say, in the way that sheet music is what you'd actually play on a piano or what you'd hear, And I really believe this. If you guys are using these videos and you're liking them and you're subscribing, it's because you get that when we find a pattern and we play with sound, life is easier than just endlessly reading and staring like this. So by all means read, by all means look at stuff, but read aloud. Get it in the muscle memory of your mouth, okay? Read out loud, okay? I can't say that enough. In reading out loud, you will also be training your ear, okay? So, here are some things I recommend. Number one. I will put these links underneath when I get a chance, but the website is called videmerde.fr. Now I apologise for any school-age listeners who are watching, but this means life of shit, okay? And it's the sister site for the British American site, which is called FUCK My Life, okay? And it's basically a series of very short anecdotes that are funny. They're really short, they're like 3-4 lines each, and they're in French. Why do I like this for you guys? The French is impeccable. Somebody has edited them so that they are still in slang French, they are still in modern French, they are still in exactly how people speak, but they are correct, okay? And it's very much how people speak, yeah? It's not overly formal, it's not like reading the newspaper. Second reason, they're funny. They're people saying, today this happened, or today my boss was trying to do this and ended up, falling on his ass or something. I mean, they are all funny. If you read them and you know you've understood them, you'll know, because you get why they're slightly amusing, and they're just all people complaining about silly things that have happened to them. I really like the site, and it's a fantastic source of vocabulary, okay? So I really, 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 really recommend that you have a look at this one. Just do one every now and then. You could do 5 on your coffee break, and I want you to really think in your mind about this 3-column system that I try and encourage, which is vocab, verbs, structure. Which basically means when you're mining any text for information for yourself, don't just think, oh, a new word, a new word, a new word. Keep a book, or even in your mind, just keep it separate between vocabulary, so nouns, so a new word that you've learned. Okay, I learned the word bougie for candle. I've learned the word, essuyer for wipe the board. I've learned the word affander, which is a posh way of saying in order to, pour. So you really divide it up in between these things, verbs, and little expressions, okay? Good. The next website that I really like This sounds crazy, but I love how rapid it is. I love how brief it is. I love how much it makes it easy. So, you've all probably heard of Google, I imagine. Some of you may have even found me on Google. I want you to type into Google dog in French. Yeah, dog in French. Or if you're from another country, type in whatever the word for dog is in your language in French. Okay? So if you're Spanish, for example, you type perro in francés or something like that. You know, you write that basic sentence. And what this does, instead of taking you to Google Translate proper, which is a big page, it just gives you in the results section, just underneath your toolbar, it just gives you a little top of the page option where it will just have the language that you're searching for and the language that you want. Okay? And what I then want you to do is sit and tell yourself a story. So you go, right, so yesterday, you think, right, so yesterday I did this. So you type yesterday, okay, yeah, I did, j'ai fait, I know that. But, however, you type however, the word comes up. Because yes, there is everything to gain by looking at big pages of all different complicated stuff, but most of the words you guys need at your level is going to be one word means one thing. By all means, there's an arrow click if you click to the bottom of that top section, and it will tell you, you know, other words, but it just keeps it light, it just keeps it quick. Page, page, table, table. Yeah, study, étudier. Studies, étude. It just gives you that 1 instant translation, so you can sit between two people, you can tell each other stories, you can just check the word you need. And when you're doing this one, vie de merde, and you need to check the vocabulary, obviously have that one open, yeah, because it's just the quickest way of doing it, okay? Don't use Google Translate as a rule, because it's getting better and better. I will be honest, it's much better than a couple of years ago. It's even better than a year ago. But it's still not grammatically great. It doesn't quite work out what you're trying to say, and the grammar is iffy. So just use it to find individual words. Right, the next one is news in slow French. .com. This has a sister website called News in Slow Italian, News in Slow Spanish. I've used those for teaching purposes. It doesn't, I don't think, have News in Slow German, but we're not learning German, or at least you're not learning German on my website, so you're okay. But the point is, this is a website, don't pay, don't feel the need to pay. There is a free access to half of the material, and there are something like 400 back episodes of the material, so you're kind of okay for the moment to not have to pay to access the rest of it. There's a bronze, silver and gold. This website does exactly what it says on the tin. It gives you the news of the week in slow French. So this is excellent for those of you that will have to talk about current affairs in exams, because it gives it you. So for example, instead of saying, you know, Marie-France went to the boulangerie to buy a croissant, it will be this week Donald Trump threatened North Korea with, so you will have this, but you will have it in a very slow French, okay? You can change the speed slightly, but the French is correct, completely correct, but at a nice speed. Cette semaine, le président américain Donald Trump a décidé d'envoyer, you know, it's that kind of speed, which is great. Some of the more interesting vocabulary is in blue, which means you can click on it and it will explain it, or roll the mouse past it and it will explain it. Okay, so that is something you can do. Don't feel the need to pay. They have grammar sections, they have everything, but you know, you really have got enough material there for the moment. And also, it plays. It's listening combined with reading. I love it. Okay, it stops it all just being visual. Okay, so I will put the link for that one as well. Next one. Netflix. If you don't have Netflix for this, I recommend YouTube, obviously, where you can just type in a TV show you know and then write with French subtitles, or avec sous-titres en français, or write the fact you want subtitles. Alternatively, Netflix is amazing for this. So those of you that have a Netflix account, go to Netflix or any other TV viewer, you know, any other kind of multi-pack TV viewing, you know, platform. Put your selection subtitle onto French, and most new things will have it in French. So for example, I seem to recommend 13 Reasons Why to people, and what else was the Marvel one? Not Daredevil, Iron Fist. Because it's just people talking about emotions. Any teen drama, anything, even if it's something you wouldn't normally watch. What I want you to do is press play with the French and then press pause, and what you will realise is that subtitles are designed to be a shorter form of what somebody's saying. It's not always exactly the same thing, it is a shorter form so that people can read them, okay? And what I then want you to do is say these out loud. Yeah, I have some students who actually take a screen cap of every line of subtitling and then read it out loud. So I want you to press pause, read the subtitle out loud as if you're saying it to somebody, okay? And it will all be, oh, my dad never loved me, mon père il ne m'a jamais aimé. It's all kind of great stuff, and it will go over the grammar that we're doing, it will go over the vocab that we're doing, it will go over all the order of stuff we're doing, but it will be less theoretical because it's in a real life situation, which is what we want. So I really cannot recommend this enough. The students I have been working with, Jerry is one, Susie and Paul are another. Those who are really making progress are people who have been doing this kind of work, okay? It really does lock things down, especially those of you who are learning the order on pronouns and videos, okay? and videos and verbs. Okay, my final one. I should have perhaps mentioned this earlier when we mentioned Google before, but it's not something I would particularly recommend as my first choice. But you can download a Google toolbar tool which will translate the word you hover your mouse over. So we don't want it to translate your whole page, but just for example, say you're having your coffee in the morning and you're reading whatever, Google News, or you're reading Sky News, or you're reading whatever, BBC website if you're in England, or or Fox News, shall we say, in America, if you watch that. Whatever you watch whatever you look at, Perez Hilton, whatever you're reading, if you float the mouse over the word in English, it will give it you in French, and it's a very useful way of constantly reminding you new vocabulary. So you can download this. Most toolbars will have it. Yahoo has one, Google has an excellent one. Yeah, I really recommend you look into this. There's one more I've just thought of. Okay. Now, she's very good, she's very thorough, she's very academic, okay? So I don't like recommending her to people who are just going to get weighed down with all the vocab. But there is an absolutely fantastic French teacher called Laura Lawless, okay? And she has two responsibilities. She works for the About.com series, so French.about.com, or if you just type French into About.com, and she has some fantastic explanations of different parts of grammar. But it's all really heavy and written out, and there's no patterns, it's just literally what things are. So it's not a very shortcut version, but if you need just another little bit of explanation, her subjunctive writing is not very discreet, not very sort of reduced, but it does help, and it is completely correct. So for those of you that really want to make this your major at college, or this is something you're doing, and you really want to read about a tense, and you really want to get some good examples, I recommend FrenchAbout.com. If you also, she now has her own website, which I believe is called Lawless French. I always like her because Lucy Lawless was I think it was Xena Warrior Princess. So Laura Lawless, it always reminds me. But again, her own website is fantastic, and there are some excellent level-appropriate listening exercises on her website where you can select A1, A2, B1, B2, etc. Okay, so I really, really, really recommend that. Okay, my final recommendation is just get into French television. I can't give you a website for this, but just to watch it anyway. So this is separate to how I want you to watch Netflix or the previous TV one. This is when you just press play and you don't try and translate a thing. You just keep listening, and you just try and tune your brain to the sound and the speed to the point where you think you can separate and recognise words, but you're not even translating. Even if it's completely above your head, your brain needs to get used to the speed of French And as you know, we focus on the vowel and not the consonant.